This video has been made as a part of the Human Anatomy course at Saddleback College, and it focuses on the carpal bones. There are 206 bones in the human skeletal system. Of those, there are 27 wrist and hand bones. Each bone is distinct based on its shape and placement. There are 8 carpal bones on each hand, 2 rows of 4 on each. Starting with the first metacarpal, on the distal row is the scaphoid, then lunate, triquetrum, and pisiform, which is right over. Superior to the scaphoid is the trapezium, then going laterally is a trapezoid, capitate, hamate. In order to remember each bone and its position, there is a mnemonic to help. Sally, left, the party, to take Kathy home. The beginning letter of each word represents a single bone in order from the proximal row to the distal row. This mnemonic translates to scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum, pisiform, trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, and hamate. We are looking at the carpal bones of the left hand. The scaphoid bone is the largest from the proximal row, and it is bow-shaped. The lunate has an oval-like shape with an articulation with the capitate. The triquetrum has a flat bottom facing laterally, which articulates with the lunate, but has a round top. It also has an indentation in the middle portion in which the pisiform is placed. The pisiform is the smallest bone, and sometimes it is not seen on an X-ray. On the distal row, medially, the first bone is the trapezium. This bone has a saddle shape that comes in contact with the first metacarpal. It is wider on the proximal part, right on top of the thumb. The trapezoid is the smallest bone on the distal row and has a simple round shape. The bone right in the middle of the hand is the capitate, which is a large bone with a C shape. The last bone on the distal row is a hamate, which has a hammer-like shape. Hamate means hook and has a hook on the palmar side. These 8 bones are classified as short bones, which means they have no medullary cavity. These 8 carpal bones articulate with the radius and ulna of the forearm. Proximally, the scaphoid and lunate articulate with the radius. The scaphoid articulates on the styloid process of the radius. The hamate and pisiform articulate with the ulna. The pisiform articulates directly on the styloid process of the ulna. Distally, these 8 carpal bones articulate with 1 through 5 metacarpals. The trapezium articulates with the first metacarpal. The trapezoid articulates with the second metacarpal. The capitate articulates with the third metacarpal. And the hamate articulates with the 4th and 5th metacarpal. The carpal bones form synovial joints of different kinds: gliding, condyloid, and saddle. The gliding joint forms between the carpal bones and allows for non-axial or transitional movement. The articulation between the radius with the scaphoid and lunate form a condyloid joint. This is when a joint of one bone in a fossa or elliptical cavity of another. Condyloid joints are able to have angular movement in two directions, back and forth and side to side. The trapezium and first metacarpal form a saddle joint. This type of joint is similar to the condyloid joint, except the saddle joints have saddle-shaped bones. The flexors and extensors of the forearms allow movement of the wrist in different directions. The radius and ulna articulation with the carpal bones, along with the muscles, allow supination, palm up, and pronation of the palm. When the radius and ulna are parallel to each other, the carpal bones supinate, as shown here, the palm facing up. When the radius rotates over the ulna, then the carpal bones pronate, palm facing down. The most commonly injured carpal bone is the scaphoid. This type of injury usually occurs when the bone is compressed against the radius during direct contact with the palm of the hand. This occurs from a fall, placing the hand first and putting body's weight over it. Motorcyclists are the most vulnerable to a scaphoid injury when going at full speed and losing balance. They place their hand first when falling to the ground. Due to poor vascular supply to the proximal portion of the bone, the healing process is a slow and difficult one. A British manufacturer by the name of Knox patented the scaphoid protection system, better known as SPS. This is designed for motorcyclists to provide protection when falling and placing the hand first. It consists of two low-friction pads positioned on the palm of each glove, developed to eliminate the grab effect. SPS allows the hand to slide forward simultaneously with the wearer. As shown in this picture, the hand slides with the person instead of placing all of the body's weight on the hand. Do you remember when Sally left the party to take Kathy home? Scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum, pisiform, trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, and hamate.